Well, it's been running in the UK for approximately 20 years, but it's based on the kind of kindergarten and outdoor education that's been running in Sweden and Denmark, Scandinavia, for many, many years. It's kind of an integral part of their education. The children are taught outside and learn to integrate with the natural environment from the first year in school. It turned out in, I think it was 93, that some primary and nursery school teachers from Somerset went over to Denmark, and they found they just really liked that outdoor education way of teaching. So they brought it back to the UK, adapted it, and then started kind of making qualifications, BTEC and things like that for themselves. Then in about 2003, several organisations and the Forestry Commission set up an actual training programme for forest school leaders, and that was an Open College Network course. First heard about forest school in approximately 2009 when I was working for a community forestry project in Merseyside, and through that I linked up with several schools that were already offering forest school, and I worked with practitioners that were, again, working with the local community, children and adults out in the woodlands. I then undertook the Forest School Leader course myself in January 2012. It had already got under my skin, and I'd really got a good feel for it and knew this was the way I wanted to work. So I undertook the course and then had to run a series of sessions with kind of bushcraft and other forest school groups, kind of gearing up my skills and making sure I was correctly qualified. And then I set up my own business offering forest school, and I've been working with organisations like the Leicestershire and Rutland Wildlife Trust for the past 2 years. It's all around kind of helping children develop their emotional intelligence, building their own self-confidence and self-esteem, developing empathy with each other and the natural environment, and taking children that perhaps struggle learning just within a normal classroom outside, kind of breaking down perhaps the barriers that four walls kind of conflict and constrict them with, and giving them, an open environment where they can take the lead and say what they want to learn about. It's obviously linked to the national curriculum, but a lot of the sessions are child-led, and they get to repeat and reflect on activities they've made, items such as this, using tools and learning to cook on and use fires. There can often be interest within a school, whether a member of staff is kind of interested in the outdoor environment, or they're already kind of forest school leader themselves. They might need some funding to help get equipment, so organisations like the Wildlife Trust can help with that. Or we, as happened with this project, we gained some funding from Western Power, and they wanted us to use the money in outdoor education. So we tailored this project to meet the needs of the funders, but also to make sure that the children had a really good, invigorating outdoor experience and learned a lot from it. Well, Forest School is based all around holistic child development, so it's the development of the whole child, not just the cognitive part of the brain. So the sessions are based around, for example, helping the children develop artistic expression, manners, connection to the natural environment, and I've already said kind of self-confidence, being able to relate to one another in a natural environment. And then the way that it's organised, the children kind of meet regularly, go out at least once a week, and spend kind of at least a couple of hours in the natural environment. That becomes their classroom, and they get to use kind of different skills and attributes that they might not use in the classroom. And you really do see different characters coming out. The quiet child at the start of the course may be kind of loud and lively, and a leader towards the end of it. Absolutely, yes. There's not a moment well, I'll rewind that. Once you've wiped down all the tarpaulins and cleaned the mud off all the boots and the tools, there's not a single moment that I don't enjoy. You look across an engaged and invigorated class of children, you know, sparkles in their eyes, forest school, always the exciting buzzword, and they never want the projects to end, and neither do I. It really is, it's a bit of a cliche, but it's about kind of helping them blossom, planting the seed of kind of outdoor living and lifestyles in their minds and their being. And hopefully down the line, you know, they grow up to want to be the new explorers or the new Raymirs. But they, you know, the way they come and hug you at the end, and you see a more confident child from the quiet one at the start, and the children that didn't like mud on their fingers are then smeared and covered in charcoal and mud at the end, and they never want it to end. Yes, it's a great job, and you feel you're really kind of helping young people develop. Well, I spent my childhood pretty much outdoors, you know, doing what I'm now getting to teach children to do, you know, building dens, tree houses, playing out in the woods and the fields. And I feel that gave me a really good connection with nature and a really good kind of basis for life, really. I feel bothered that a lot of children nowadays are not connected to nature. They're scared of bugs, or they don't feel invigorated by, you know, kind of lively winds or the leaves blowing around in a park, which I feel very connected to. And again, a lot of people spend time indoors. Forest school is really important to me because I want children to feel life and to live and enjoy outside like I have done. But it's also the whole process, I think, is important, because it's handing the kind of learning process over to the children. They can say and do what they would like to learn, and although it's already, you know, obviously linked to the curriculum, and we do achieve kind of literacy and numeracy and so on, there's also a bigger picture that the children can pick up a tool and say, I want to learn to use this. How do I do it? What do I do? And then once they've learnt that, they can return to that in a following week and say, can I use that tool again? I want to carry on making my mallet. Or they can go off and play. So the whole child-led process, I think, is really important for their development and their connection to nature. And it's just great fun.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.